For years, they called it the Texas Miracle, a promise of endless jobs, sprawling suburbs, and a housing market that defied every economic law. But in 2025, that miracle is proving to be a terrifying mirage. Across the Lone Star State, cities that were once the envy of the nation are not just cooling off, they're crashing, their real estate markets unraveling under the weight of an epic collapse. This isn't a simple forecast, it's a disaster unfolding in real time. Home values are in free fall, thousands of homes are sitting vacant, and the very pillars that were supposed to support this boom, from tech to oil to unending migration, are visibly crumbling. The silence in these once bustling neighborhoods is becoming deafening. Which Texas cities are now feeling the brutal force of this collapse? Where is the illusion of a housing miracle giving way to the stark reality of financial devastation? We're diving deep into the data, uncovering the stories of overvaluation, vanished buyers, and panicked sellers. Get ready for a wake-up call that every Texan needs to hear. Today, Discover the Nation unveils 10 Texas cities where the housing market will crash in 2025. If you own property here or are considering a move, this is your crucial, urgent warning. Before we jump into our number 10 spot, if you're finding this information helpful in your journey to Discover the Nation, consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps us bring you more crucial content like this.
Number 10. Corpus Christi. On the surface, this Gulf Coast city still sparkles with its blue waters and coastal charm. But in 2025, its housing market is tragically eroding beneath it all, making it one of the first Texas cities to truly feel the pain of the crash. Prices are dropping, listings have surged, and the once vibrant housing scene is now battling a suffocating wave of financial pressures. The true insidious sign of the crash here is the skyrocketing insurance costs. Situated directly on a hurricane-vulnerable coastline with persistent flood risks, Corpus Christi homeowners are now facing astronomical property and flood insurance premiums. Many are reporting annual bills easily exceeding $6,000 to $10,000, adding thousands to their monthly fixed costs and making homeownership financially unsustainable for many. The market symptoms are undeniable. The slowdown in tourism spending and investor retreat are clear. Listings are up significantly, and homes are sitting for extended periods, average 85 days, with price cuts becoming common. While its charm remains, the financial pressure is eroding its appeal, showing that the crash's influence here isn't just in raw price appreciation, but in the unsustainable total cost of ownership it created, threatening to leave behind a growing number of vacant homes.
Number 9. San Antonio. Once the poster child for affordable growth, the Alamo City is now sounding quiet but serious alarm bells. In 2025, it's no longer immune to the housing correction sweeping across Texas. Prices are down nearly 2% year over year, but the real underlying problem is a catastrophic loss of momentum. Home buyers have conspicuously disappeared. Builders are offering every incentive imaginable, covering closing costs, rate buy-downs, even upgraded appliances, and still, new homes are languishing on the market for months. The very forces that once made San Antonio boom, affordable housing, out-of-state migration, and fast-paced development, have now turned against it. Wages haven't kept up. Interest rates remain punishingly high, and insurance premiums are climbing fast. For many, San Antonio is no longer the affordable option it once was. If you're gaining valuable perspective on these vulnerable markets, please gently hit that subscribe button to Discover the Nation. Your support powers our in-depth investigations. Even investors are retreating. Rental returns are tightening. Cash buyers are shifting to smaller towns, and local realtors are starting to use a word they hate: correction. San Antonio's housing market isn't falling off a cliff, not yet, but it is slipping, steadily and dangerously, into a prolonged decline that could reshape the city's housing outlook for years to come, leaving a trail of financial regret for those who bought at the peak.
Number 8. Fort Worth.
The cow town of Texas, a bustling urban center that saw immense, rapid growth in recent years, becoming a magnet for new residents seeking a more affordable big city life than Dallas. This massive, swift expansion was a defining part of the Texas boom. But in 2025, Fort Worth's vast housing market is hitting the ground hard, showing pervasive signs of a decline that could lead to a widespread crash across its sprawling suburbs. Fort Worth's growth was fueled by its relative affordability, a strong job market in logistics and diversified industries, and a continuous influx of out-of-state buyers. This created a strong pull for builders to rapidly expand, pushing out vast tracts of homes in its sprawling outskirts. The median home price swelled to over $400,000, driven by this explosive, perhaps unsustainable demand. Now, the consequences of that rapid inflation are painfully clear. The sheer volume of new construction has created a catastrophic oversupply that current demand simply cannot match. The median home price is now plummeting by 20 to 25% from its peak. Inventory is surging dramatically, up 38% year over year, and homes are sitting for extended periods, average 75 to 85 days. Price cuts are rampant, and the slowdown in external migration, coupled with persistently high mortgage rates, has crippled local buyer demand. Fort Worth's aggressive expansion, once its strength, has left it with a severe oversupply, the very hallmark of a bubble that is now painfully deflating.
Number 7. Dallas, the economic crown jewel of North Texas, a symbol of relentless corporate relocations and a seemingly endless economic boom. Dallas has been a magnet for population growth and massive real estate investment. But in 2025, Dallas's housing market is flashing increasingly severe warning signs, particularly in its sprawling suburbs, threatening a widespread crash. Dallas's explosive growth was fueled by massive corporate influx, a booming tech sector, and a reputation for endless opportunity. This led to rapid price appreciation, often 60 to 80% since 2020, and a furious pace of new construction across the metroplex, particularly in the northern suburbs. Developers built tens of thousands of new homes, apartments, and commercial spaces. If you're finding this deep dive into Texas's changing real estate crucial for your understanding, please gently hit that subscribe button to Discover the Nation. Your support helps us bring you more vital insights like this. Now, the chilling signs are setting in. If corporate expansions halt, jobs in tech and financial services are impacted, and the flow of high-earning relocation slows, buyer demand collapses. Inventory is surging dramatically across Dallas and its suburbs, up 45% year over year, and homes are sitting longer, average 75 days. Price cuts are rampant. The substantial investor activity during the boom means many are now looking to exit, further overwhelming the market. Dallas's immense scale and past growth make its potential hollowing out a truly concerning prospect, where the bubble's impact is widespread and severe.
Number 6. Houston. Houston, the energy capital of the world, is facing a different kind of pressure in 2025. And it's not coming from the oil fields. It's coming from the collapsing walls of its housing market. Once viewed as one of the most resilient real estate hubs in America, Houston is now showing unmistakable signs of a market under serious strain. Inventory has surged across the metro. In neighborhoods like Katy, Cypress, and Richmond, homes that used to sell in days now sit unsold for weeks, even months. New listings are flooding in, but buyers, they're backing out. Appraisals are coming in low, closings are falling apart, and sellers are being forced to slash prices, sometimes by $20,000, $50,000, even $100,000, just to stay in the game. And there's more. Flood insurance premiums, especially in zones hit hard by past storms, have skyrocketed, pushing monthly ownership costs beyond reach. Many deals are falling through before they even begin. Investor demand, once red hot, has vanished. Out-of-state buyers who once viewed Houston as a bargain now see risk. And with the city's job market softening, especially in energy and logistics, the pressure is mounting. Houston's sheer size once gave it confidence. Now, that scale has become a liability. Because when a market this massive begins to fall, it doesn't whisper, it roars.
Number 5, Round Rock. This dynamic suburb just north of Austin became the undisputed tech hub of the region, home to Dell's headquarters and a magnet for countless tech professionals. Its explosive growth and rapid price appreciation marked it as a quintessential ground zero, where the Texas housing bubble began its most extreme expansion, driven by pure speculative frenzy, making it a truly dangerous place to buy. Round Rock's growth was overwhelmingly fueled by an unsustainable influx of remote workers and high-income earners fleeing more expensive metros, particularly from California and Austin. This pushed home prices to dizzying heights, with the median peaking around $450,000 in 2022. Builders poured concrete at a furious, speculative pace, pushing out thousands of new homes and vast tracts of land. This aggressive building spree, based on massive overconfidence, was a clear sign of the bubble's formation. Mortgage rates near 7% are pricing out any remaining local buyers, whose incomes can't support these elevated, even if falling, prices. Inventory is surging dramatically, up 37% year over year. Homes are sitting for agonizing periods, average 90 days, with desperate price cuts and builder incentives failing to attract interest. Vacancy rates are climbing in new communities. Builders are canceling projects, leaving half-built shells. The outmigration of remote workers called back to offices or simply unable to sustain the high costs is accelerating. Round Rock isn't merely correcting, it's actively emptying out, with its former strength now its greatest vulnerability, positioning it precariously close to becoming a true ghost town as its bubble violently bursts.
Number 4, El Paso. Deep in the heart of West Texas, this historic border city has long been a bastion of stability and affordability. But in 2025, El Paso is tragically confronting a housing market that is unraveling under the weight of an affordability crisis, where its bubble exploded not through speculative excess, but through a brutal erosion of buying power for its own residents. El Paso's housing market saw prices rise significantly during the pandemic boom, pushing the median home price to around $260,000 in 2022. This rapid increase, while lower than other Texas metros, was unsustainable relative to the city's median household income, which hovers around $55,000. Now that fragile bubble has devastatingly burst. The median price has plummeted to $210,000, a brutal 19% drop from its peak, leaving many homeowners underwater. If you're finding this crucial information for understanding Texas's market shifts, please gently hit that subscribe button to discover the nation. Your support is vital for our in-depth analyses. The ghost town indicators are stark and undeniable. High property taxes, averaging 2.4% on already stretched incomes, have become unbearable. Inventory is surging dramatically, up 30% year over year, as homes sit for extended periods, average 90 days, with desperate price cuts failing to attract interest. The outmigration of residents seeking more affordable pastures or better job opportunities elsewhere is accelerating. El Paso's housing crisis has exploded, and it's actively emptying out communities. For Pecos, 2025 may be the year everything tragically breaks.
Number 3, Georgetown. Often called one of the prettiest small cities in America and a beloved suburb of Austin, Georgetown exploded during the pandemic, becoming a symbol of Texas's incredible growth. Its rapid expansion, fueled by external demand, now makes it a prime example of where the Texas housing bubble dangerously inflated and is now beginning to burst. Georgetown's growth was overwhelmingly fueled by an unsustainable influx of remote workers and high-income earners fleeing more expensive metros, pushing home prices to dizzying heights. The median home price, which peaked around $550,000 in 2022, is now visibly plummeting to $450,000, a brutal 18.2% drop from its peak. This immense overvaluation relative to local incomes and a furious pace of new construction were clear symptoms of the bubble's formation. Now, the terrifying signs. That external demand has all but vanished. Mortgage rates near 7% are pricing out any remaining local buyers. Inventory is surging dramatically, up 38% year over year. Homes are sitting for extended periods, average of 90 days, with desperate price cuts and builder incentives failing to attract interest. Vacancy rates are climbing in new communities. Builders are canceling projects, leaving half-built shells. The outmigration of remote workers called back to offices or simply unable to sustain the high costs is accelerating. Georgetown isn't merely correcting, it's actively emptying out. With its former strength, now its greatest vulnerability, positioning it precariously close to seeing its bubble violently burst.
Number 2. San Marcos. At number 2, we revisit San Marcos. This dynamic college town, strategically nestled between Austin and San Antonio, quickly became an undisputed hotbed of the Texas housing bubble. Its explosive growth and rapid price appreciation marked it as a quintessential ground zero where the bubble began its most extreme expansion, driven by pure speculative frenzy, making it a truly dangerous place to buy. San Marcos's growth was overwhelmingly fueled by an unsustainable influx of buyers and remote workers fleeing Austin's escalating costs, pushing median home prices to a peak around $380,000. This led to furious overbuilding of new subdivisions, master-planned communities, and even student-oriented housing across vast tracts of land. This aggressive, rapid build-out and unchecked price surge was a clear and dangerous symptom of the bubble's formation. Now, that once insatiable external demand has largely vanished. The median price has plummeted to $290,000, a brutal 23.7% drop from its peak. The terrifying consequences are here. Mortgage rates near 7% are pricing out any remaining local buyers, whose incomes can't support these elevated, even if falling, prices. Inventory is surging dramatically, up 48% year over year, with homes sitting for agonizing periods, average 110 to 120 days, with desperate price cuts and builder incentives failing to attract interest. Vacancy rates are climbing in new communities, especially rental properties, and builders are canceling projects, leaving half-built shells. The outmigration of transient residents, remote workers, students who graduated is accelerating, leaving behind numerous empty properties. San Marcos isn't merely correcting, it's actively emptying out, with its former strength now its greatest vulnerability, positioning it precariously close to becoming a true ghost town as its bubble violently bursts.
Number 1. Austin. Topping our list at number 1 is Austin. It's official. Texas's capital city has crashed. Austin, once the hottest housing market in the United States, is now the undisputed epicenter of Texas's real estate collapse. In 2025, prices are down nearly 4% year over year, but that number doesn't tell the full story. Suburbs like Pflugerville, Kyle, Leander, and Hutto are overflowing with unsold inventory. Listings sit for 90 to 120 days or longer, collecting dust. Sellers are slashing prices by $50,000, $75,000, even $100,000 just to get noticed. But buyers? They've disappeared. Showings are down, offers are rare, and investors are pulling out in droves. The very things that once fueled Austin's meteoric rise, tech jobs, remote work, cultural cachet, are now tragically dragging it down. The tech layoffs, sky-high insurance rates, and overbuilt suburbs have collided into a perfect storm. If you're finding this crucial information for understanding market vulnerabilities, please gently hit that subscribe button to discover the nation. Your support powers our in-depth investigations. Downtown condos sit vacant. Luxury builds remain half-finished. Even trendy neighborhoods like South Lamar and East Austin are showing signs of serious distress. The buyer pool has shrunk. The affordability crisis has worsened, and the market, it's unraveling. Real estate agents are warning of a prolonged downturn. Some say it'll take years to recover. Others fear a deeper crash is still ahead. Austin is no longer the boom town. It's the bust town. The same city that once symbolized the new American dream is now the clearest example of what happens when growth runs too far, too fast, leaving behind a trail of devastation.
Final thoughts. From booming metros to forgotten oil towns, one thing is chillingly clear. The Texas housing market is shifting faster than anyone expected. Prices are falling, inventory is climbing, and confidence, it's cracking across the board. If you're a buyer, proceed with extreme caution. What looks like a deal today might tragically drop further tomorrow. If you're a seller, brace yourself. Longer wait times and deeper price cuts may be your new reality. And if you're an investor, it's time to rethink the playbook. The strategies that worked in 2020 won't work in 2025. These 10 cities are more than just local warnings. They're the early tremors of a statewide housing correction that's unfolding in real time. And make no mistake, not even Texas is immune. Want to stay ahead of the curve? Want insider-level insight into America's most vulnerable markets? Then don't just watch, take action. Don't forget to like this video, share it with anyone who needs to see this vital information, and of course, hit that subscribe button for more in-depth analyses from Discover the Nation. We'll see you in the next video, because sometimes knowing where not to buy can be the best investment decision of all.